We're having a peaceful situation.
And then
wanatupigia watu tear gas.
Kwa nini?
Mbona wanatupigia tear gas wewe? Wanataka kutumaliza. Why do you want to kill us? Hatuogopi.
Reject your bill, reject your bill, reject your bill. Ay, mna tax pad na simliomba kunyeshe. Situation bad si lazima turembeshe. Mabadis wakikam tear gas you arrest them. Hustler boda boda mama mboga nili happen. One tribe joma youth waliungana. Side note legalize marijuana. Long arm of the law mshailipua. Tao kila msee anaziba tu mapua. Na nisi ndo tunavote na nisi tunachagua. Finance bill karatasi na rarua. Atitia gas tushazoea mavipi. Put him in a blunt na mseti kwa mapep. Sindo Gen Z na msitu underrate. Yo gari ya Maria muto na ikatisha mabreak. Build this track tunaiturn up kwa disco. Mna banjaba but story bado ziko. Kusaidiwa na Java kufukuzwa na wakristo. TikTok badi yako na sauti kushinda bisho.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 30% podcast. My name is Sam. I am here with Afam. This is episode 82. 82, right? 82.
Yes, sir.
Yep, 82. Welcome. You can catch this episode is on all, well, not all platforms, but it's on some platforms. It's on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify podcasts, and we're on YouTube at the 30% podcast. You can also catch us on social media. This is at the 30% pod on Instagram. On X, a lot has been going on X. On what else? Threads, social media. So that's Instagram, Threads, and X. LinkedIn also at the 30% pod if you want to link with us. And
TikTok.
And TikTok. Sorry, I keep TikTok. I'm not on TikTok a lot, so I keep forgetting it. It's not like a major part of my life. But yeah, that's the 30% podcast. We talk about the music industry. We talk about everything around it. Today we won't be talking not necessarily about the music industry, but about the things around it. And a lot has been happening. Reject your bill. Reject your
Shout out to Sabi, man.
Yeah.
He was really quick with it, bro. Like,
It's a smart move. It's a smart move for an artist. Huh? I'm saying it's a smart move for an artist because obviously that song is reigning number one in the world. So
it is.
To use it for social change is fine.
Timing.
Yep.
Timing wise, he killed it. But like also, like the thing about Sabi Wood that's interesting is like his bars are also very funny. So he mixes in this song seriousness with also a little bit of humor, but like it works.
Yeah. And it's important. Like he's definitely highlighting a lot of people are highlighting just the need.
Yeah.
I think we're becoming a lot more conscious in how we speak about some of these things.
Yeah.
Kenya is a very
for sure.
There's a lot of like jokes, and it's cool. It's a cool jokey culture, but a lot of people are very like serious. And even still throwing jokes in there. Twitter has been a light. We'll talk about that. But then it's really cool. I think it's really cool to see, especially artists, right? Get out. But we'll get to that. Afam, what's going on, man? How are you doing? How are you doing despite the circumstances?
I mean,
how's your mental health?
As well as I can be in these trying times, man. Definitely. It sucks to be so far away from home when everything is happening, man. You know.
How does that feel, though? Like, do you feel powerless? I mean, run me through your mental process.
Have to. You feel powerless, but like also, I'm really like, emboldened by just the digital activism that's happening at this current moment. Like, and that's what we can do, as well as also contributing to specific causes. So you just have to like be in solidarity, and actually, that's one of the positives about activism in 2024, and that's maybe one of the things that our government is realizing is very different, is like this battle, this revolution is going to be fought both on the streets and on the internet. And so at least like for those people who can't be physically there, like the internet is a powerful tool. Especially when I was seeing like that Reject Finance Bill 2024 hashtag get over 2 million. I'm pretty sure it might have even gotten to 3 million, but like when I saw it, like when it was trending, it was like over 2 million. And I was just like, wow, like the power of the internet is insane. So yeah, I'm doing as well as I can. Interestingly enough, I've been very creative. And it's just a function of like, like, bruh, it's a time where there's just so much anxiety and stuff like that. And I feel like music has been a good outlet. And I've been able to just kind of like also just channel like all that frustration and anxiety and stuff like that and just be creative. And interestingly enough, this past week I've been the most creative I've been in a minute, and I hope it'll pay dividends in the future. But yeah, other than that, like, bruh, I'm me personally, Afam the person is doing okay.
Afam the person.
Afam the Kenyan is just
You're doing as well as all Kenyans are doing. Yeah. Some of the best music is on that last point you made. Some of the best music is birthed through pain.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yeah. Well, that's good, man.
Sam, how are you doing? How was your week?
Week was the beginning. In the beginning of the week, it started off slow, started off chill.
Yeah.
There's something that I've been really hoping to do that I kind of kickstarted. So that was like very, very, like, for some reason that just unlocked a weird it's like a part of my brain was locked because there's something I've been wanting to do but I haven't done it yet. And so once I started that process, it kind of just unlocked that door, and it's like fresh air. Just like when it's a stuffy I don't know if you can, if there are matatus in Texas. There's a stuffy stuffy matatus, and then the conductor opens the door and then it's like cool air enters. So that's what happened to me. And then it slowly started getting a little bit dicey, like with the whole, just, I don't know how to call it, an uprising, unrest. It's unrest, not disrest. Unrest, and everything happening. There were protests in town, protests online. There was a lot going on. It all came together for me, I guess, on, when was it? Friday, Saturday, was it? Yeah, on.
No, it was Friday. No. The protest was Thursday.
Yeah, the protest was Thursday. Friday was cool. I think it was Saturday. Yeah, I think it was Saturday where I think I don't know. I probably let a lot of, and this is just being honest, transparent. I'm a psychologist, so I don't have a problem sharing like emotional stuff. A lot of things just got. I think it just ended up getting to me, just seeing what was happening, and how sort of things were playing out in terms of the protests and what was happening both on Twitter. Actually, it was more what was happening on Twitter than what was happening on the ground that really started to affect me. And I don't know, it kind of triggered some anxiety, and just trying to, because I think naturally I feel like I am an activist, but I don't do much like outward activism. It's like inward activism in my head, and maybe that's a bad thing. And so all the questions that we're asking, like, it's questions I ask myself over and over again, like, what on earth? Why are we being treated like fools? Why are politicians doing this? Why is it that money demand? Why is no one asking these questions? And so when you see these things happening, then you start seeing the repercussions from them, and of course we'll talk about them. But then, like, people going missing and some losing their lives, it really just affected me, up to the point where I find it difficult to eat. I went to bed starving because I was just like, fam, I don't want to eat right now. Like, eating doesn't seem important. A lot of things don't seem important at this moment. But today, I guess that's slowly lifted. And it's still there. It's still a weird tension, I guess, in me of just hoping. It's a hope, It's a hope that things go well. But apart from that, I'm doing cool. I realize that it's really important to be around people, man. Like, I've been mostly solo during this time, and that doesn't help. Like, it's really important to be around people and just have some sort of support and go through this in community, so that you're not alone, and because your mind can become an echo chamber, it could drive you crazy. But that's that, man. Hey,
Well, you should know you're not alone.
Yeah.
We're all in this together, man. And that's also, I think, one of the beautiful things that have come out of this podcast. Of this protest.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is one of the beautiful things that have come out of this protest is that a lot of us have banded together in a way that I never thought possible.
Yeah.
You know, back in 2022, man, I feel like there was a lot of apathy in our generation and the generation after us, the Gen Zs. Like, I feel like a lot of us weren't very engaged with the political landscape, and obviously that was a mistake. But I think now there is no doubt in my heart that every single youth in the country is going to come out to vote in 2027. Quite frankly, I wish change could happen sooner. I feel like 2027 is too far away. I would love if this current government was out tomorrow.
Right.
But like, I don't know if that's possible or feasible, but you never know.
Yeah.
It would be so amazing. Anyway, I feel like one of the great things that has come out is there is a togetherness. And I just wanted to say that, bro, like, yes, you are going through these feelings and emotions of anxiety and uncertainty and hoping that the best comes out of everything. But you're not facing those thoughts by yourself, though, you know?
Yeah. And
I wanted to get...
hold on. And just to round that up. I think with the anxiety, I'm not having anxiety and cowering away. It's almost like a positive anxiety where it's like, okay, I don't know what's happening, but I'm glad that it's happening. You know, like I'm happy that we're going through some of these things. Yes. Because it's a road to change, some change. And so it's a positive, it's a hopeful anxiety. Rather than I'm just reframing it in my mind rather than sitting around cowering. Yeah. And we should not. I know a lot of people might be dealing with it and will maybe not talk about it. It's important to talk about these things, right? But talk about, try and reframe the anxiety in your mind from being, oh, I'm scared that these things are going to happen, to being, this stuff that's happening is kind of crazy. It's a wild world out there. It's treacherous times, but there's a positive that could come out of it. And so we don't attack, we don't maneuver the anxiety with fear, but with faith. I think I spoke about that towards the end of our last podcast, is we go through anxiety with fear, with faith, not fear. So yeah, man. That's that.
So I wanted to lead this conversation with, obviously we are a music podcast. And so just to get into it, I wanted to just highlight the artists that have been using their platforms responsibly for, this whole movement and uprising against our government. And one of them is Charisma, Heat.
That's the voice you heard in the beginning of the
Twitter.
Podcast.
Yeah, he used to be part of Le Band, but now he is solo.
Le Solo.
And bro, he's done so much, like documenting of his experience out there, fighting for our rights with every like as every Kenyan is doing as well. And I've seen a lot of outpouring of positivity towards him, of people saying, yo, y'all should stream his music and stuff like that, because this guy is actually like out there like
fighting.
And that's
people
that's positive. And no, go ahead.
No, people want to make you more successful, and they want to like pay for your music and stuff once they see that once you relate. And it's the music business and that's why people do a lot of marketing, is once you, I'm not saying that this is not at all that conversation, right? But
it's not marketing, bro. He's not doing this with a marketing.
But once when you make yourself more relatable to people, they want to support you, and this is how it is. And so him being out on the streets and taking tear gas to the eyes is definitely like, all right, so it humanizes someone who you would have previously thought is not necessarily on that level. Yeah,
it does. And And it's important. It's important because people look up to charisma. You know, I've seen even Nameless and Wahoo out there as well.
Yeah.
I've seen so many artists like out there like protesting. And it's important. It's important because there's so many people who you influence, and those people look up to you, and it's good to see that the people who we give these platforms
Yeah.
using their stature and the platforms that they have to kind of push these
More
agendas,
than just their music. Yeah.
which are definitely necessary and are contributing to just like the wider country, the wider Kenyan, just everyone needs to be part of this conversation. So
the greater story.
The greater story. So it's dope to see people like Charisma out there, and then also using your platform via music. I've seen so many people release songs that are addressing the finance bill. I mean, in the intro to this podcast, we played Reject Your Bill by Sabi. I mean, Occupy the Streets by Trio Mio.
Yeah.
Sam, do you know my mom sent randomly on WhatsApp? She sends me this and she's like, I thought you would like this because these are the type of beats you make. And I was like, oh, interesting. And she said, I never in my life did I think my mom would send me a Trio Mio joint. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That shit was circulating in the WhatsApp groups, man. And I was like, bro, that's powerful.
It's powerful.
You know what I mean?
And seeing behind there's a legendary song that we used to fight, sort of, what do you call it? Not fight the power, but then like political commentary, which is it's called Tujiangalia, right? By Sauti Sol and Nyashinsky, if I'm not wrong. And just seeing him, like he performed that again, like with a guitar and everything, and the song has just been circulating. Yeah, and there's many more that we've not mentioned.
I mean, and even Albizi released a song as well.
That was interesting to me.
No, everybody.
That was interesting to me.
Listen,
like I want to hear Reject Your Bill in autotune. Like I'm here. I'm here for all
exactly,
of it,
bro. So many people have used their platform, and we had a podcast about activism in music. And listen, it's so impactful. My mom is sending me a Trio Mio song as a factor of that. Like, it kind of goes to show like how important music is, because it kind of like makes it's you can make the theme song of the, like, whenever
soundtracks to revolution
period, exactly, the soundtracks to revolutions are very, very important, man. And I just wanted to highlight like the artists I've seen like kind of use their platform in this way.
And we mentioned it, but also just seeing artists out there, with the people, mingling with the people, not necessarily having 500 people around them talking about I'm fighting for Kenyans and you're protected. You know, nothing is going to touch you, but you're actually there on the ground, which is very cool. It levels all of us, and you're just as important as the person who consumes your music. You're just as important as the person fighting for their rights. It's all our rights we're fighting for. You know, it's all of us.
And it's important to remember that now is really not the time to be releasing diss tracks. But anyway,
leave that one alone right there. Just that's enough we need to say.
That's all that needs to be said. That's all that needs to be said about that. So one thing that's weighing heavy on my heart. One thing that's weighing really heavy on my heart right now is the loss. The first one, Rex Masai, man, it hit me, man, because he's my age, and I was like, bruh, that could have been me, that could have been you, that could have been
anyone on that street. It could have been anyone on any street
at all.
Yeah,
which raises the question: why are they even shooting live rounds in a peaceful protest? It's so scary, and obviously as well, Evans Kiratu also got hit by a tear gas canister and passed away. And if anything, we can't
was,
let
21?
their legacies. Yeah, he was young.
So young life cut short.
We can't let their legacies just like go like that, man. Also, don't forget, over 200 people have been injured in these protests across the country.
We're not hearing that. We're not hearing that story a lot. Like that's not been. Of course, the people who passed away
highly publicized.
It's going to be like make the major news. But then we're not hearing of the many people who've been injured and who need blood. If you're able to donate blood, if you're able to get to some of those stations, like it's really important to do that. I think a lot of people do need it, and if you're able to do it, like we just again encourage you to go out there and do that. But I mean, you're out here and just holding up a placard, trying to hold your government accountable, probably with your friends. In your mind, you know you're making change, and the next minute, you're not around. That has to be one of the scariest thing. I mean, you're leaving the house not thinking that you're not coming back. It's a peaceful protest. Why is it a thing? Why are people dying in a non-violent protest? What's that about? I'm getting now. I'm starting to short circuit again. My brain is I'm starting to get heated again.
No, quite frankly,
it's just really frustrating,
it shouldn't be
man.
the case. And I can't believe that, well, as of us recording this podcast, that policeman who shot him hasn't been, like, nothing has happened and there are no repercussions. Hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, that'll be a different story.
Yeah.
But, how is he just out there roaming the streets? That's a criminal who has shot an innocent,
completely innocent
of the country.
Unarmed. He had a bottle of water and his ID on him. What?
Yeah, that's actually disgusting.
It's really sad because now, what do you tell his folks? What do you tell his mom? I was looking at pictures of her. I was so sad.
I saw pictures of.
It broke my heart.
That's
man.
exactly where I was.
Broke my heart.
I saw pictures of that, and all I could see was my mom in that instant, and I'm like, imagine how my mom would be like, just seeing me like on the, like in the mortuary, like. In the clothes she saw me leave the house in, man, it's painful.
Yeah, and I guess we shouldn't dwell on the negativity of it, because what it shows is bravery. They were out there and and there's so many people. So even some of the artists, man, it's really brave to know that you're. And I was just thinking about this recently, is artists tend to be like, the government could look at them and say, okay, like you're the, you know how there's almost like a hunt for who is the one leading the protests and who is sponsoring the protests. And it's very easy to point towards, oh, look at the artists because they have influence already, and to point towards them, and then you're targeted just because you have that. It's like a pre-influence already. So it's very brave of them to be out there fighting for change, not just artists, but people who are part of the culture, people who are recognizable, not just musicians, there's dancers, there's people in museum, instrumentalists, there's videographers. There's so many people out there who want their voice to be heard. So shout out to them. It's dangerous.
And I love how there's no one face to this whole protest. No. Like, it's very decentralized. They don't know who to come for. Like, they just, like, there's no leader. Like, we're all doing this. And it's so hilarious to me that they think that people are being paid or this is being funded by anyone. Listen, we hate this government for free.
Yeah, I think you had mentioned it. You had said it earlier. You said it earlier how people, the generation, we've been quiet and we don't have political affiliations, and so we've been quiet about things. But it's that quietness and that just frustration that has been building and building and building and building that has led to this. It's like, all right, cool. Like, you guys are clearly because this is not the first year there's been a finance bill, by the way. There's finance bills every year. But this time we're just looking at it like, okay, fam, you guys literally don't care. So
it was the last stroke.
Yeah.
If you guys wanna help Rex's family, man, I know people were circulating his mom's number, which you can send anything that you can. It would go a long way.
For sure.
That number is 0722 238 122. Send whatever you can, you know. We just need to do the little that we can to kind of like help. Because that could have been anyone. I haven't seen too much information of how we can directly help Evans Kiratu and his family.
I'm sure that will come up. So just keep your eyes open for that. Keep your eyes open for that sure. Online, especially on X. A lot of this has been done on Twitter/X.
On X.
And shout out to again, just a big shout out to the brave people who are sort of not necessarily leading on that front, but just being an amplifier. And organizing. One thing that
speaking of
yeah.
No, go ahead, sir.
No, I was just about to say one thing that was really, really, really good to see was this the spaces that was the Twitter spaces that was held. Was it yesterday?
Those spaces.
Not yesterday. On Saturday. I'm giving myself was the spaces that was held on Saturday. And just seeing droves and droves of people. I don't know. I mean,
at the time, Billy was still his whereabouts were unknown.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it was driven by that as well.
Yeah, driven by that, and then just it just turned into people coming out and airing their frustrations, and
there was no fear.
Oh man! At some point, I wasn't going to leave this space. Like I was actually on the spaces from. I think I might have joined.
Yeah.
Mid-morning, I want to say maybe 11 or 12 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed on it until 12 a.m. when it was closing down.
Yeah.
Of course, on and off because there was a bunch of stuff I was doing, but then I was paying attention and then not, and then paying attention not. But people were on there just telling the truth, and that was really good to see. Yeah, politicians, some MPs were jumping in there and they were being flamed, bro.
Ruto was in there for a bit.
He was in there for all of what, 12 seconds.
They will not believe. They will not believe, man.
They really
hate all these people.
Yeah. It's unified. We don't have a specific target. It's like, no, our target is corruption. That's who we're going against. So if the shoe fits,
and it's
put it on.
It's so good to see how many people in the international community are also picking up this story. The biggest shock to me was seeing an anonymous video. And I was like, "Is this the real Anonymous?" And I was like, "Yo,
I went to check.
Is.
I went to check. Like
I had to also
I saw the mask. I was like, "No, wait, it can't be." And then I went to check. I was like, "Hey, yo, this is fire. This is fire."
And they're just like, "Greetings, citizen of the world.
Yeah.
This is a warning message to William Ruto." I was like, "Bro, the smoke."
I wonder who recorded that. I wonder what mic they used to record that joint.
The part I loved was like, they said, "Soon there will be an uprising of hackers, many of whom may reside in your home country. Your secrets may no longer be safe, and there is a chance that all these secrets will be exposed to show how corrupt and unjust members of this parliament are, embezzling public funds for personal gain." And I'm like, bro, I'm sure this got to Ruto's table, and I'm sure he'd be like, he'd be wondering, like, what the fuck? Because, like, bro, man, I wish I could hack.
To do some research.
If I could hack, bro, I would be hacking away, Sam. You don't understand. I'd be hacking away right now.
Just diving
leaking
into
numbers,
any and every computer numbers, you can find. Yeah, whatever
shutting
email.
down things, bro.
Yeah.
For real, man. Like, oh, bro. But I love the audacity of the youth in Kenya right now, bro. We are so audacious. And just like having all these numbers, DMing them. messaging them on WhatsApp. A lot of politicians
and posting the screenshots. Yeah, some of those screenshots are hilarious. And on the other side of that, some of our politicians, honestly, these are people we've put into power. Some of these guys are rude, just ridiculously rude, like just brazen about their rudeness and lack of.
So speaking of
intelligence,
speaking of rude politicians, I guess we can talk about.
I'm scared. I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is going.
Why?
When you start with speaking of rude politicians, I'm like, yo, whoa. Whoa, they're abducting guys.
Yeah, but these niggas are rude.
Yeah.
So one thing that's been weighing heavily on my mind is politics, and Kimani Ichung'wah, who is currently the leader of the majority in parliament, was kind of clipped talking about the fact that the people going out for the protests are Gen Z, 1. 2, will after the protests go and have KFC. 3, they will have filmed the protests on their iPhones.
Yeah,
and 4, they would have arrived at the protests and consequently left using Ubers.
Where's the problem?
I find this very interesting. I find this very interesting, actually, because it just kind of goes to show what politics is all about. And listen, I'm not a person who has prior to like this been very interested about the like psychology of politics, but it's very interesting. I feel like politics is all about divisiveness and dividing people.
Definitely one of the major factors. I feel
like there was it is, and I feel like there was some conversation around this on Twitter. And one thing that's really beautiful about this current generation that's protesting is tribalism isn't really a thing for us. Like, we've grown up like mixed with each other. Nobody's really tribalistic at this time. In 2024, you're thinking about tribes. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sorry, on that point, I also feel like, and one of the reasons for that is I feel like we're growing up. You know, there's this whole thing of, you young kids do not speak your mother tongues, you young kids. I think it's that whole thing of culture. Culture means something to us, but doesn't mean the same thing that it has meant that it means. It doesn't mean the same thing it does to us that it means to you, and it doesn't mean what it means in the same way. Culture is important because people are important. They're still keeping their names. People try and
I was about to say that, like, it is important for people to know their mother tongue,
but it's not. We are not using it as a tool to
for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
So basically, the point I was trying to make is tribalism isn't really a thing anymore. And then there is things like religion as well. Like, you can't really divide us by religion anymore. Like, bro, Christians, Muslims,
we're all vibing. We went to the same.
All together
we're all vibing.
We're going through the same things. But like, what it is like now. Wow. Okay, you realize that this generation. How do we divide them? How do we make them feel like this other group? I need to like separate.
The tools we used to divide ourselves are not working. What do we go to now? What's next?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's how you win in politics, man. You have to find a way to divide. And for them now, they're trying to like build this whole classism thing and make it a thing, and try and divide us that way. They're also even trying to use and weaponize the whole Gen Z narrative to kind of make it seem like millennials aren't doing anything and have that as a divisive thing as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's so interesting how they're really, really trying to find angles in which they can divide people.
Which is interesting.
It's interesting, actually, to just observe and see how evil people can be.
It's like, and you can tell guys, as much as they're trying to be braggadocious about it and speak in matter-of-fact tones, they can tell guys are scrambling.
Yeah.
You can tell people are making phone calls on the back end and like, yo, fam, what do we use? Oh, no, yeah. Unaona hizo iPhones. Yeah, talk about those iPhones. And it's like, fam, bro, iPhone, whether you have a Mulika Mwizi, we're all on the streets yelling. We're tired of you guys. So it doesn't matter what you tell us. It's you we're tired of. We are not tired of systems
Divide.
or freaking classes or whatever it is. It's y'all.
Divide and rule policy.
Yeah.
Or divide and conquer in politics and sociology is gaining and maintaining power divisively. This includes the exploitation of existing divisions within a political group by its political opponents, and also the deliberate creation or strengthening of such divisions. That's how they win. That's always how they win. In America, they'll focus on things like abortion, religion, race. They'll focus on things like that. And then you see, the thing is, amidst everybody arguing whether or not it's right for abortion to be a thing in the first place, right? Amidst everybody just like arguing, this is why I think I'm pro-life, or this is why I think and this is why I'm pro-choice. Like, you forget that they are busy creating policy, creating things that are so detrimental to the society.
Yeah, you're arguing about the fringe topics.
And they've used these as just like the main focal points in which they can just like create their divisiveness and then kind of attack. Yeah. And then now they'll have like some really despicable things that they do there, but like nobody's focusing on these things because like let's just let them argue about this. So that's what they kind of do, and that's what this guy Kimani is trying to do right now by making us try and argue amongst ourselves about oh wait, like is it just the rich kids like out
cool
there
kids.
like no, we're not doing that. We're keeping, and that's the beautiful thing about this protest. Like people are focused, man, completely focused on the end goal. And even I've realized their whole tactic with these abductions, these random abductions, and I'm really glad to hear that Billy has been freed as well as Japrudo as well.
Yeah,
like what they're trying to do as well, Japrado, sorry. What they're trying to do, man, is they're also trying to like reduce the these guys have really been trying to divide us, man. Like they're trying to reduce the effectiveness of the Reject Finance Bill 2024 hashtag by creating so many other divisive issues within. So like you see, now the thing is, once these abductions happen, like everybody's attention moves to that, and then the hashtag moves to like a different hashtag. Or even there was a point where there was this weird thing of gain trains on Twitter. Like people were like, oh yeah, let's gain followers and stuff like that, so that people can be like distracted from
so much.
Bro, I'm telling you, they're doing everything in their power to just stop the actual conversation. and then even not to mention like implanting false hashtags.
Yeah.
Like, and then also, bro, these guys are crazy. And then even in the protest themselves, they'll implant moles there who would do everything that they can to incite violence, so that they have like a reason to be violent.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually so evil, like the things that they do, man, just to like.
But those are not tactics. Those don't look like tactics of the winning side, does it? It doesn't. It's.
But people have won using those tactics.
They have.
That's why they do them.
Yeah. So that's why they're using it. And the reason they've been switching tactics over there, they're doing everything and anything because they've tried one thing. Oh wait, they didn't buy it. Oh, let's try something else. Oh snap, they've not bought it. What can we do? Oh, let's insult them. Oh, these guys are all cool kids. Yeah. First off, just look into the crowd. We are not all cool kids. There's kids from everywhere. They're scrambling, man.
And so what? Like.
And so what? That's the question.
Kids
so what?
Who come from the middle to upper class families are also engaging in this protest, bro. So what? Like at least everybody's engaged.
The finance
these guys
bill
are gonna make
and corruption affects everyone in the country. Everyone. So
yeah. So listen, I just want to say, I mean, there's also the directive for the 7 days of rage. In which
you could go through
as we are recording.
Go through that, yeah.
And this is a frustration I have also being a podcaster, is like because we record like in advance and this podcast comes out on Wednesday, but obviously before this podcast comes out, there's gonna be, I mean, like in the meantime, in the period between us recording and us releasing this podcast, a lot is going to happen.
Yeah.
So this podcast, like when it comes out, it's not going to sound like exactly
current.
Up to date. That frustrates me a little bit. But so basically right now as we speak, we're on Sunday, and I want to shout out to everybody who went to the churches. I saw the dude at Holy Family Basilica chanting "Reject Your Bill."
Shout out to all the churches
and then the guy who was asking,
who spoke up about them, and then the churches that kind of danced around the issues. We don't see you. Like congratulations.
We won't forget.
Round of applause for you guys.
They will not believe. They will not believe.
They really won't. Yep.
So yeah, Sunday, the platform politicians in church. Don't allow any politician who voted yes to speak in your church. Actually, I'm interested to see on Tuesday if the number. So I know there was 204 politicians voted yes. I'd like to see if that number goes down. Probably won't, but interesting.
Yeah.
So on Monday, there's supposed to be, so make a courtesy call on MPs who voted yes at the constituency office. Tell them, endelea hivyo hivyo, boycott the businesses of those traitors and ostracize them for betraying 54 million Kenyans. Bro, I love the way this shit is just being controlled. I don't even know who created this stuff, but shout out to them, man. And then, Tuesday. Now, Tuesday is the big day, man. Hashtag Occupy Parliament and total shutdown Kenya. Because on Tuesday, there's going to be a second reading of the bill, at which point the politicians are going to vote or the MPs are going to vote again. Mm-hmm. I expect them to vote yes. But again, nonetheless, I think...
No, don't put that out into the universe, Afam. Come on.
No, it's gonna happen, man. Bro, these are pigs, man, and this bill is something that puts money into their pockets and fits their agenda. They're going to vote yes. But anyway, so on Tuesday we can expect a total shutdown. So Gen Z are granting all hardworking Kenyans a day off. Parents, keep your children at
that's
home.
Crazy, man. That's crazy. But that's crazy for a group of people. Just say, you know what, guys, stay at home. You're cool. Stay at home. Yeah, just please. Turn on your TV, watch the news.
We got this. Yeah.
Enjoy some time with your family.
You guys just chill.
Mm-hmm.
You guys just chill. Wednesday, so Tuesday is gonna be a really big day, at which point I'm also really praying for the safety of everybody who's gonna be involved. Let's please not lose any other people to these protests.
Please.
And this is actually more towards the police, because everyone is being peaceful. So if the police are also peaceful back, we're not gonna suffer any
unless there are incentives from elsewhere to not be peaceful. This should go
unless
very
now they
smoothly.
Start that whole thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, Wednesday, 26th June, Justice for Rex. They're gonna visit IPOA and the IG of police, demanding justice for Rex. Also, we need to find the person who shot him. We've seen so many pictures of him, but his name needs to be in circulation and he needs to be brought to justice.
Yeah.
And on Thursday is also going to be a super, super huge day because people are going to be camping outside State House. So block main roads leading to Nairobi and hashtag Occupy State House to witness Ruto sign our lives into slavery.
Yeah. Yeah. And on that last point, I just wanted to highlight a couple of people. I mean, there are a couple of people, lawyers on the space who, on the Twitter space and on Twitter, who are very, very open to educating people about the bill and what exactly it means. I've also seen a couple of, and this is just a really cool idea. I've seen a couple of artists. I saw Costa Ojwang, who's a really brilliant artist on two fronts, both music and visual arts. What do you call it? Visual arts when it's like painting? Is it?
We'll call it visual arts.
Visual arts, yes. But he's been trying to educate people on the finance bill in his mother tongue, and I also saw them try to do that. I mean, not try, but then doing it also in sign language, which is really important in my opinion.
I saw the sign language one. I was going to say that. Yes, I saw that.
So shout out to everyone who is doing it. I mean, if you can, just make sure that you get what it's saying right, so that we are not passing off faulty information or incomplete information to other people. But if you can, in what if I could speak Yoruba farm, I'd be throwing up. I'd be breaking down the finance bill in some Yoruba. But yeah, it's good to see some of these things being done. It's really important. And yeah, man. Listen, this week is a very important week, I think, for the country, and I really do hope it goes down well. Yeah,
hopefully.
It's just a reminder to stay focused. Let's stay focused. We have a
stay
goal.
Focused, because they're going to try and divide us.
They're going to try
everything.
Everything. So let's stay focused. Let's do what we can to play the role we are playing in the best way, so that we don't look back and say, oh man, I wish I would have done this better. I wish I would have done this better. It's always better to move in numbers and know what you're doing with the people around you. Because again, they love to isolate. And generally in war, it's really better when you isolate a couple of people and you pick them off. So, yeah, man, stay safe. There really isn't anything else we feel like we that's worth talking about.
There's not really much.
Y'all don't want to know about Universal
music industry.
I'm saying people don't want to know what Universal Music is doing at this point. I don't think it's important.
Not really. Now isn't the time for that. I mean, there was also new music that came out this week.
Yeah.
I mean, briefly, we can just say shout out to the people who released music. Right now, I guess me personally and a lot of people, like, music isn't even... Bro, even the Euros are going on. Nothing is really like...
Yeah, it's not hitting,
right,
bro. It's not hitting like it usually does.
No, not really, man. We're all kind of just
we have way more important things. Of course, music is one of the things that just lightens mood and brings people closer, which is cool. So it'd be cool to just highlight some stuff that maybe you'd want to listen to as you march.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Mao from Nowhere released Restore. It also has like very big political themes in there, pertinent to the times. So shout out to Mao from Nowhere and Jay James for releasing the song Restore. Namanga by Ben Soul came out. Malaika by Bien and Tenny. I fuck with Tenny, man. Tenny, she's very comedic sometimes. So shout out to Tenny, the entertainer.
The bass in that, like, I love the choir vocals that they did up there. That was fire. The choir vox, that was cool.
Bay by DTX and Boutros came out. Stepper by Blocker, Rachel Kendi, Jiggy and Lemmy. Reezy by Rizzy and Jovi Jove released a song called Sharp. Sorry. I listened to it. I was like, this is interesting. Like, they just named the song Sharp. So shout out to them.
Hey, it is. Sharp.
Yeah, there wasn't really much. I mean, the last thing I saw was Zena Clap by Trio Mio, Sean MMG, Godi Tender, Tipsy G. That also came out.
Yeah.
Did you listen to anything else?
I mean, it was pretty much, there was that. To be honest with you, there's not much else that was released.
Yeah.
Not much else that came onto my radar. So of course we got a couple from Idaziz, Sufyan Zao released, Nesamburu. We have that group, our EDM, Afro EDM group, that also released music, which is cool. So yeah, man, go out, support your artists as we try to make some change.
So I guess for the end of the podcast, our focus track of the week has to go to Trio Mio, man. Like I said, bro, my mom literally sends me a song for Trio Mio. My mom does not listen to Trio Mio, but like that was just so interesting to me.
She stepped in. Afam has a cool mom. Occupied the Streets by Trio Mio.
Yeah. I love it. I love artists using their platform responsibly in this way, and I love the message, and it's coming from a Gen Z themselves. So, yeah, man, Sam, I think to end this podcast, I'd love to play the song "Occupy the Streets" by Trio Mio.
Tuna occupy the streets. Tuna occupy the streets. Tuna occupy the streets.
Ndo tulole, ndo tukeme, ndo tucheki, ndo tusikize, ndo iwashike.
Tuna occupy the streets.
Mishogoshodo akatembeze akajambona, sitaji ngwati serikali shanifak proper. Kujuu ya gwedhe na kutiku ndani ya gut stomach, ni hewa tupu nkona abs juu ya njaa ona. Too broke to buy your lies sometimes, na kinda wish you could joke on you then and get strokes that blind your eyes. You folks should fucking die. Bottom up ninyi talk mkitu chanya. Tax and pesa, tax mkate ongeza parts of females. The audacity mna tax hadi for cancer treatment. Ni manifesto ya mahasla ndo ina build masoko. Tax madaipa mneka tax juu ya shit ya mtoto. I think it's funny how mnaongeza ushuru kwa vitu tumiza sana. Get your children na mafamili zao, tulieka imani kwao. Katumia scriptures kutuchocha saizi cheki ni wanancho mekwa money cows. Hamjui njile nyinyi, nimehemehemeni mekucha geto lini, mkitupea ma 50 bili ya finance unaweza iroli kuwe scroll kama smocha na ukalie mheshimiwa sikutambui mimi.
Mbona wanatupigia tigas wewe? Wanataka kutumaliza. Where do you want to kill us? Hatuogopi.
Tuna occupy the streets.
Ndo tulole, ndo tukeme, ndo tucheki, ndo tusikize, ndo iwashike.
Tuna occupy the streets. Tuna occupy the streets.
Ndo tulole, ndo tukeme, ndo tucheki, ndo tusikize, ndo iwashike.
Tuna occupy the streets.
Hizi streets ndo wenyeji, hizi streets ndo wenyeji. Achingo neko dinda for this shit. Matishi cooks dinda for this shit. Matai Wangari dinda for this shit. JM Karis dinda for this shit. Joja Nyona dinda for this shit. Dedan Kimati dinda for this shit. Tomboy dinda for this shit. Mzee Jomo dinda for this shit.
Occupy the streets.
Ndo tulole, ndo tukeme, ndo tucheki, ndo tusikize, ndo iwashike.
Tuna occupy the streets. Tuna occupy the streets.
Ndo tulole, ndo tukeme, ndo tucheki, ndo tusikize, ndo iwashike.
Tuna occupy the streets.
That was Occupy the Streets by Trio Mio. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for using your platform to highlight what's going on in the country, man.
Yeah.
And necessary. Bro, Sam.
And the many others who have released music.
That was the episode.
Released
sorry,
activist. Sorry, no, just to highlight also the many others who have released. I don't call it activist music, but music that sort of talk about what's going on now and social commentary. Yes. So that's cool. And the ones who aren't.
All right. That was episode 82 of the 30% podcast, man. I'm hoping that by the time this comes out, which is going to be Wednesday, I hope yesterday was a success and it was peaceful.
Yes.
And nothing bad happened.
Yes, and I'm just really again hoping that I don't want to be Mr. Positive, but I'm hoping that some of these politicians' hearts changed, and they stop seeing green and start seeing human beings, because that's really one of the biggest problems that we are facing as a country, as people. So, really hoping for that.
Agreed.
Stay brave.
Agreed. And on that note, guys, stay brave, like Sam said, and. Yeah, man. Let's catch you guys on episode 83.